and welcome. I'm Carra, the founder of the Transition Living Real Estate Team, and we're a group of real estate agents throughout the country with a higher level of education and strategic partners who help classic citizens make transitions easy and enjoyable. Our first show today, episode number 1, will be Finding Your Happy Place in a Real Estate Move. And I work in Denver and Boulder, Colorado with a team of agents where we help people transition to the right size homes. And we have some lovely guests today, and we have Margaret Rome. I'm using my box here to get her up on the top of the screen. And Margaret is the broker-owner of Home Rome Realty from Baltimore, Maryland. She's also the author of her own real estate book and radio talk show host at WBCM 680 in Baltimore. Hello, Margaret. How are you in Baltimore?
How exciting. It is WCBM, and I just want to thank you, Carra, for taking the time to put this together so that we can all help our classic clients transition.
Oh, it's great. We're just looking forward to it. And we are going down east and south. We have Kathy Streib from Delray Beach, Florida. Kathy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. What's it like in Delray Beach today?
It is balmy 81 degrees, and the snowbirds have arrived, so people are aware that now more than anything is the time to get your home ready to sell. And condition is important.
Yes. What I want to share with our viewers is Kathy has an upper level psychology training and is an avid blogger. So we're going to enjoy hearing what Kathy has to say. And how fun is this? I want our viewers to know that they can reach our guests by looking at the description tab that is on the YouTube event, and there are live links, so you'll be able to follow up and contact them afterwards. Today in our show, we're going to be finding that happy place. And you know, traditionally, moving involves 3 kinds of high-level stress: death, divorce, and moving. And sometimes there's more than one. Sometimes it's financially motivated in a good way. Sometimes it's not in such a good way. So we're going to be talking about making the transaction decision, selecting the stuff that gets to stay and what makes you happy, deciding on colors. What hues would you like to be surrounded with? This is a new adventure. Maybe it's a new 20-year plan, a 30-year plan. And repurposing the stuff. Abby has some really fun ideas with how to edit your accessories and ideas about giving, purging, selling, or saving, and making a choice. This is going to be fun, and we're going to start our chit-chat where we're having coffee together from all over the country. And if you know somebody who's thinking about or should be thinking about a transition, we'll be giving you some ideas. So Margaret, we're going to start with you and your real estate expertise in helping classic clients make that decision. How do they start? Those listening really need to know. How do you start deciding when you need to move?
I think you start deciding when you're going to move long before you're ready to do it. Frequently, I will get a call from children, adult children, saying, okay, we're ready to move my mother, my father, my parents into assisted living or move them to live with us. And I want to say, well, wait a minute. How do your parents feel about this move? And the most important thing is to be able to sit down, if need be, with everyone and find out if this is really the right thing to do. It's not always the right thing to move, even though we're talking about transition moving. Sometimes the right thing to do is to stay in the house. Sometimes the right thing to do is to bring care in, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about transitioning and moving forward from one home. Maybe they've been in it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, I've had a client that was born in her house and she was 85 years old.
Well, you know, I think that shows the compassion, Margaret, of what this group of people are trying to do is the compassionate thing, that it really is about someone else's life, and that we are trying to truly give and help open doors so people will know what's the right thing. And you hit something that I think is important, that in-home care is also a possibility for people that really do not want to move. But we're going to address when you decide you are going to move. And so, Kathy, when people have decided it's time, we're going to have fun doing it, what are some of the things you like to help them get prepared to make that move?
Well, if they know where they're going, sometimes they've already picked a place, we will go over together and we will look at the floor plan. We'll find out where they're going. And I also sit down with them, and as Margaret said, it's an emotional adventure. So we try to find out where their head is, what they're looking forward to, how they envision their life being, what they plan on doing, how are you going to spend your day? What are your plans? And it could be a young couple who've had apartment-style furniture that you collect from relatives, and now they're transitioning into their first real home. So it could be a transition. So that's the first thing, is to get inside their head and find out how their lifestyle is going to be, so we can help them decide what they need to bring and what can be left behind or donated.
You know, Kathy, you've mentioned something here that I think is really important as families are thinking about this, is and people who retire, you know, sometimes have a really hard time deciding what is your day going to be like. What are you going to do on Monday? What are you going to do on Tuesday? I think when you're tired and you've been in the rat race for so long, you probably need maybe a couple of months of not worrying about that. But once you move on, that is so important as to what you want to do. So, Kathy, about how do they start to select the things that are going to stay, and do people have a hard time? Do they want to keep too much?
Oh, yes. Very few people that I meet will say, I just want everything gone. But most people have a hard time. There are memories. And, you know, when we hold on to things, it's more of because it's a way of controlling our life. When life is being taken away from us, either through our health, the economy, or whatever, holding on to things is our way of controlling what's going on in our life. So, but once we talk about where they're going to go, what they're going to do, the first thing I say, let's take it closet by closet if we have to. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And we work with them. We can work with them. We can sit with them. They can have family or somebody else that will come in and help. And it's a start.
I think that's great. One thing we were talking about in the green room was possibly taking pictures of all your special treasures. And, you know, the conversation with the children is so important, simply because those memories that the person making the move, those are their memories. The kids probably don't give a hoot about those things. So the conversation has to be opened with no hurt feelings, but it's like, well, if you got that when you went to, you know, Russia, but that doesn't mean anything to me, it's definitely that empathy that has to come out and understand, and taking photos and making a book. there's so many inexpensive ways to do that. So if you had any experience with that, Margaret, helping people, you know, just realize that they can't take everything?
Absolutely. And one of the things we were talking earlier in the green room was to find out what you absolutely love, what you can't live without. When you look around your room and say, what's my favorite thing in this room, as opposed to going at it with the, I've got to look how much I have to get rid of. If you can pick and choose the things you love and then take them to your next house. In fact, it reminds me of a couple that I just helped this past year. They were truly in a panic. They should have moved 10 years before. The house had gotten away from them. They weren't using a shower. They were filling it up with stuff. It was just cluttered. It was, where do they start? And they were literally in a panic. What I was able to do for them was we actually sold it as is to an investor. And we wrote in that they could take anything they wanted from the house, anything, into their new place, and anything they didn't want, they just left there, and it was the responsibility of the investor to remove it.
Wow, that's creative, yes.
So that was really creative. They didn't have to bring people in to purge and throw stuff away. They could, instead of saying, this is what I have to get rid of, it's, this is what I'm taking. And I'm learning from you two that this is the way to make this experience positive. Take the things that you love, not throw things away.
Yes, that's great. I just recently had a garage that was an estate situation, and there were so many things in the garage, and that was such a selling feature. All those tools were included, and the kids got to come over and take what they wanted. But anyway, so we can get creative with our marketing and with the family helping. This is how they can help. If you just let the person that's making the transition take what they want and then either the family or include it, that's a great idea, Margaret. I love that idea. So, Miss Kathy, what about color in our happy place?
With colors, you know, where you're going to, you can pick whatever makes you happy. Pick something fun, pick something new. With the home that you're leaving, if you haven't had a less taste-specific color, then yes, we're going to suggest painting everything a buyer-friendly neutral. And neutral isn't white or beige necessarily, but it's something that doesn't assault the eye. But and for the new place, I say pick what's fun. Go with something that makes you smile. And you're purple, for example. And if that makes you happy, paint one of your walls purple. So again, make this a positive new adventure.
I think also, Kathy, I'd like to bring up right about now that people can hire you to help them with this, and through Hangouts on Air, FaceTime, Skype, because it doesn't matter where you are. If the viewer has something that they can walk around their home with and share with you, then you can help them place things and suggest purchasing.
Absolutely. We can help, you know, with Skype, and as you mentioned, all of the social media and digital age that we're in, we can see, you can just walk us around and carry us around with your iPad or phone and let us see. We can work from there. And it's helpful to have that other little voice or that other little head saying to you, what are your plans for this piece of furniture or for this artwork? Is this something you love? And we help walk them through that. And I love the digital age because of this.
Oh, that's great. Now, Margaret, I know you have a wonderful story of helping your mother transition into a new house and the difference between your color choices and hers. I think the viewers would love this story.
Well, when I was moving my mom to Baltimore, she was leaving a 3-bedroom home and coming to Baltimore into a 1-bedroom condo. And I kept bringing her samples. Mom, do you like this? Do you like this? And she was, it's fine. Anything you pick, I love it, because she was not going to insult her daughter. So I had the wonderful experience of having to do her place, and I did it to my taste. I did it in the beiges and the grays and the, you know, the soft colors. And when I moved her here, I did something kind of sneaky. I already had her condo completely furnished, including the hangers in there. But across the hall was an empty, vacant condo. And when her moving stuff came, I put it all in the vacant place. Took her into the vacant place with all of this boxes of stuff. And I said, and she said, okay, we've got some work to do. And I said, Mom, what is your biggest fear right now? You know, what are you worried about? She says, I don't have enough things to put on the wall. At that time, which I loved hearing that, you know, rather than, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. When I heard that, and then somehow, after all these many years, found out that her favorite color was red, I had an absolute ball picking accessories and artwork with fabulous reds in it, which made the grays and the beiges pop. But if I hadn't asked the question, I never would have known. We have to be careful about not assuming. Like, nobody would have to assume that you love purple or that I love brown. Okay, but you know, colors aren't as important to most people, I think, as they are to us, Carra.
Well, I think once they realize that that color can play an important part in your life, then it's just like opening your consciousness up a little. And I think that's what will help our transition, is by helping people think about things differently, reframing. And now that's a great segue into repurposing, Kathy. You know, how we're changing what the life of a piece of furniture had or has. And then I think let's not miss about the system to get rid of things. And maybe we want to start there, is the system of getting rid of things. Kathy has this wonderful idea of working with the kids. You want to share that with us?
Well, and it's worked with many clients, and they love it, because once you've decided that you no longer need the 10-place place setting of china or your crystal, and you're saving it for your children, I've had our clients lay everything out on the table or wherever they could, invite their children over and say, take what you want now, and because if not, it's going to be donated, sold, or whatever. And it really, the children were excited because now they could use it, and they didn't have to look at it as if something they got after their parents had passed away. So it is one of the first things I tell is, let's go ahead. You don't need to store or move the things that you're just saving for your children. Go ahead and have that little fun event, pizza party, then with them.
Oh yeah, that's great. Now let's say I'm going to move over to my screen sharing here, Kathy, because we're going to talk about repurposing different items that would go into the transition home, and what fun ideas you've had. So I have up here this mini bar.
Well, and this was a lovely piece of furniture in a client's bedroom, and she, in her new move, it was not really going to fit, but she really hesitated giving it away. What we did is we placed it in the dining room, because again, she had to give away another piece of dining room furniture, we made this into a mini bar. If you open the cabinets, there's a little wine rack. She has some room for other bottles, cocktail napkins, whatever you would need for a mini bar, and there it is. So the piece is there. It's just in a different room and used for a different purpose.
How fun, because that was something that she really enjoyed. And now it's going to just have a new life and a new life. And this is my favorite Pinterest slide. This is great.
Well, thank goodness the client had this lovely entry table and the kind of table that you might buy at Bed Bath & Beyond. And but she had a cabinet that was in her office, which she was no longer going to have. So we flipped it, put the file cabinet under the table, and now she can keep her extra linens for entertaining. A person could actually use it as an actual file cabinet for your paperwork if you wanted to. But what we're doing is using a piece that has a multi-purpose and provides you more storage, because it's one of the things that people talk about when they're making a move is, I won't have enough room for everything.
I think that's just such an excellent idea. And then when you're figuring out what you're going to keep, again, paring things down and repositioning them on your walls. This is fun.
Well, personal photos are what help to make a house our home. And we don't want to have to remove those. But on the other hand, we may have a smaller space, and we can pick out the photos we like. And arranging them, it's a really easy thing, is just put them on a table or on the floor in front of the space that you're going to put the pictures. And if you need to make a string outline of a square or a rectangle, and place your photos in there within those boundaries, so that in turn that creates a sense of a larger piece of artwork. Take a picture of it, and so you won't forget, and then you can hang your pictures on the wall.
Just wonderful, efficient ways of organizing here. Margaret, do you think that this will be helpful when you're talking with sellers about being able to do some of these fun things?
Oh, extremely. And one of the things, listening to the two of us, all three of us, and brainstorming here, is so many times, as we said, that our clients are concerned about how to throw away, get rid of, and the pressures of that. And listening to you two saying, pick the things that you absolutely love so that it's a happy experience. Pick the photos, like you picked your pineapple. Like I've taken, my pottery and I'm designing the room around that. Make it a happy thing rather than a stressful thing. And I think in the past I may have been stressing the stressfulness more than I have, let's make this a lot of fun.
Oh, that's sweet, Margaret. So here I'm going to share some of, I've just been through this transition from moving from Arizona back to Colorado, back to my happy family place. And but it was a larger home, 3,200 square feet, vaulted ceilings, lots of room around it. And so here was the room, and it's like I didn't want that stuff. So there's one thing right here, that this pineapple out of this whole room is what I wanted to take with and build around. The rest was included in the sale as a furnished rental, so people could use it for a second home. And here is a picture of the new 2,200 square foot home. So it was trying to just work around what I liked. And here I thought that I was going to have the drywallers come in and fill this, because this is the old entertainment center hole. And my husband suggested we do this. So now it's our pineapple display area. And you were talking about photographs and making them work. I think if people have had photos that they've had for 30 years, 20 years, however long, they can create new works of art on their own wall with their own photographs on canvas. So I'm a big fan of that, and then here's the color. Kathy was talking about the color. Purple is my thing. I thought I wanted the whole house in purple, but it got a little bit too much, and I couldn't find purple furniture. So just some accents of purple. And then here, so you can see where the pineapple is in the old spot because the new high-def smart TV is up there, but I wanted to be able to have room for everybody to come over and watch those Denver Broncos. Okay, Margaret, no fighting here. And have the color. So it really does depend on what lens you're looking through. And so in our chick chat here, I think we've been talking about looking through the right lens to make that transition home fun and not stressful, as Margaret had mentioned. So we'll come back here. And so, Kathy, are there some things that you would like to share with people that kind of summarizes making this transition and what will help them?
One of the things I wanted to mention, we had discussed this earlier, is my Smithsonian approach to collections. And I saw your teacups. Margaret has her pottery. I collect miniatures, and those are things that make us feel good.
Yes.
And what I suggest is doing what the museums do. Take and put out a portion or a part of your collection, store the other ones, and then rotate them according to season or a holiday. Put that particular collection, move it to the back, bring out the new one, and it's fun for you because it's like opening a new package at Christmas. But this way you get to keep your collection, you get to look at it and share it with everyone and feel good about your new space.
Oh, I love that idea. And yes, that was one of the things that used to be away, and I thought, I'm just going to put it on the mantle. We'd been around the world, and I couldn't buy big things, so I just bought little cups. So that was good.
Carra, that's reminding me of one of my clients had this fabulous collection of irons, miniature irons, heavy as could be. And she was talking about getting rid of them and when she had to move, etc. So I took all the irons and I photographed them all and made a slide, which is very easy to do using a program like Animoto, which I know Kathy uses. And she was just fascinated. In fact, so fascinated that she decided to keep her collection, and she did use them as a focal point where she put the collection together in one small place in her new place. But she really saw how much she loved them, and so it can backfire on you sometimes. That is also another way of preserving the things that you love. If you take 15, 20 pictures of your pictures and then put that in a slideshow, you've got it forever.
Yes.
True.
I think
Can I interject something, Carra?
Yes.
One of the things you mentioned, a book. One of my clients had her husband's rodeo chaps from when he was a little boy, and she had them saved and boxed, but nobody could see them. I mean, they still had the little bitty scuff marks in the blood when he fell off the horse, whatever. But she wanted to keep them, so we had her frame them in a box frame. And now she has it displayed on a wall. Oh. It's not tucked away where nobody's going to see them. Yeah. And so you pick those items that make you can walk by and you smile, and that's when you know you want to keep something.
Yes, because that's the happy place. That was our show today, is getting to that happy place, and going through those boxes that you need to go through that you haven't been through for 20 or 30 years and should have thrown away, but maybe there's a treasure. And I really like the idea, Kathy, of the Smithsonian, being able to put your little groupings out, and then especially having the family come and get the things that are special to them before you have to move them. That just makes so much sense, especially if you were going to store them. Because
yes. You're paying for all that.
You're setting yourself up for a successful new 20 years. And that's what I think we have to look at this transition as, because it will be new things on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if you like hand and foot canasta and who you're going to play that with, and just really enjoying, taking up photography is another thing that people can do. So I want to thank you both for your time and expertise, and I want to let our viewers know that you can connect with Kathy Streib from Delray Beach, Florida. On her link, her website is on the description page of this particular YouTube channel. And Margaret Rome in Baltimore, Maryland, you can reach her. And this Sunday, Margaret's radio call-in show on WCBM680.com at noon on Sundays Eastern Time. She'll be continuing this discussion about happy place and purging and repurposing and just having some joy with the transaction. So I want to thank you both so much for your time. I'll look forward to some more events, and here are some of our new events. Listeners, this is why you'll want to stay with us. We're going to be having a show on saying goodbye to your home, the right sizing up or down. Maybe it's the Waltons for you. That's a new trend, having the entire family there. So alternative care options. Door openers to talking about life changes with family, estate planning, Social Security changes, reverse mortgages, using an assisted living locator. Now this is a new service, some of the county services, launching your new adventure with the 20-year plan. And so we've got good stuff coming up, and you can sign up for the newsletter also on that description page and keep up to date with different tips on transition moves. So thank you again both, and I want to say peace, and we got Peace Monkey up here saying goodbye, and just appreciate you both so much and look forward to our next show.
Thank you.
And Carra, we appreciate you for putting this together. As I said before, the three of us are best friends who have never met in person.
I know, and we just feel like we're having coffee together here.
And
so,
it's
we'll
a miracle.
do it again. We'll do it again, and the goal is helping people with the transition to have fun and make it easy, because it doesn't need to be stressful. So thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you.